I got 2 degrees in accounting. Knew I didn't want to become an accountant. Along with doing that, was also running professional track, and I was on my Healthy's school board. I was doing all those things at the same time. Made me feel like Superman, but still figuring out, all right, what is it I truly love doing?
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining A Seat Worth Taking. We have a friend of mine, Kenny Glenn. The thing that stuck out for me was your energy, bro. Super nice, high intensity, but like calming.
Me being a speaker now, a lot of times when I walk into these schools or classrooms, they tell me that I'm a breath of fresh air. People who come to talk or speak with students, they're talking at them, and they know when it comes to me, it's a conversation.
So let's backtrack. You said track.
Yep.
So you did track. How long you
track? So what's funny about me running track, I didn't run track until my senior year of high school.
Really?
Yeah, so most people do it as a kid or in middle school, and I waited until my very last opportunity.
So what were you doing before that?
So growing up, first sport was soccer, then football, basketball, fell in love with basketball the most, then ran cross country, thinking that would help me when it came to basketball conditioning. Not at all. All right. But
two different type of
completely different. Right. So but coaches will tell us, let's go run some miles so you can get your heart rate up or conditioning. But in my mind, when will I ever run that long or jog that long on a basketball court? Never.
Yeah, it's more explosiveness.
Yeah. Exactly. And so a more, we can say, sport that correlates to basketball would be soccer. And so I wish I would have been able to articulate that back then. But did cross country, and then actually got cut from the hoop team twice due to lack of confidence and courage. But eventually made the team. Yeah. And along making the team, one of the reasons I did it was obtaining crazy jumping skills. And so then those jumping skills, being able to dunk and rebound, translated to me running track.
Gotcha.
And so on the track, the coach came into the gym and said, "Hey, can you high jump for me?" I'm like, "All right, it's my last year. Why not? Let's go have some fun." And so doing high jump, and in that practice, I see the long jump hit. And so I'm like, oh, I get to jump in sand. So me being originally from Hampton, Virginia, my dad would take us to the beach all the time to get faster. Yep. And so jumping in the sand is like going to the beach. So all right, let's have some fun with it. So I get to jump really high in high jump, really far in long jump. And so that was my track journey in high school. And then me winning meets, making it to state and getting medals, that gained college attention. And it's like, wait a minute, I could become a Division I athlete. Something I've always dreamed of, thought it would be basketball, but this may be my ticket. And so that was my track journey up until college.
Gotcha. So you went to college for?
Yeah. So main event was long jump, and then also in college did the 4x1 and the 100.
And you did it within a year, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. And so mind you, I was also 16 when I graduated high school. And so,
oh, really?
Yeah. So really, really young, but still late to the game. And so I only could get better, and I did get better. So in high school, I jumped 22 feet, 9 inches. My first year in college, 24 feet, 5 inches. And then second year, 25 feet. Then eventually got the school record, which is 25 feet, 7 inches.
Gotcha. So you're holding a record up there.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's something I am super proud about because it was a goal of mine. Or I'm big on legacy and being remembered forever.
Yeah.
And so I know that I'll always be attached to the record books, whether I'm number one or not. I established my legacy at Miami.
Gotcha. That's dope. And you say you did professional too?
I did. Yep. So after Miami, I did professional for the country of Honduras. So I could have went professional for USA.
How?
Yeah, great question. My mom was born in Honduras. And so because she was born there, I was able to get dual citizenship.
Gotcha.
So young Kenny, right, being 17, 18, thinking about, I can go pro in this. I want to go for USA because I want to go against the best of the best in the world.
Right.
But with time and age, typically comes wisdom. And so wait a minute. The goal is just for me to go professional and eventually make the Olympics. Competing for Honduras would have been much easier than competing for USA, right? Because USA has Olympic trials, and you have to be in the top 3. You don't make the top 3, it's a wrap. In Honduras, I'm automatically number 1. And so all I have to do is hit the qualifying jump or the qualifying mark, and I'm in. Let me do that instead. And so it was an honor to make my mom proud, make the entire family proud, and then represent the country of Honduras, where she's originally from.
Gotcha. That's dope, man.
Appreciate
That's
it.
What's up. And you kind of put yourself in a humbling spot, right? Like, because you like an ego, right? Like, I want to be U.S., and then you got to backtrack. How do you think with that people nowadays, right? Like, feel about that, right? Because I'm okay, like, taking a step back. Because I know I can take more forward if I can learn and develop.
Yeah.
What do you think?
For me,
in that journey, like how did that come about, and like how do you feel now with what's going on in the generation?
Yeah, I say, man, do whatever it takes to get you to your goal in a legal and ethical way, of course, maintaining your morals. But if you have to essentially take a step back to get to where you want to go, what's wrong with that? It's funny I say that because in long jump, a lot of jumpers will take a few steps back before they propel forward and then eventually jump.
Right.
And so me even saying that, I thought that was going to be my original first book. It was going to be writing about long jump and how sometimes in life you got to take a step back to go forward.
That's dope because, again, you kind of put yourself in that position. Like, let me humble myself real quick.
Yeah.
And kind of do that. So how long did you do that for Honduras?
Yeah, so it was about a year and a half, 2 years. So I went professional right after college. So graduated in 2019.
Yeah.
Trained here in Cincinnati with the coach David Payne. So David Payne is a former Olympian. He won silver in the hurdles. So he ran for UC, then went professional for the USA. And so him having that level of experience and coaching at Xavier, he'd be the perfect person to help me along this journey. So trained with him up until, I want to say, September, October of 2019, and maybe even all the way up until February. I think it's February 2020. And so February 2020, the world is moving the way it's supposed to. But February 2020, I'm like, man, I want to go to Atlanta so I can train with the training group of the Winter Circle, which was coached by Dwight Phillips. So Dwight Phillips has the 5th furthest long jump of all time. And he had a team of about 20 athletes from all across the world, whether they were running 100, doing long jump, 400-meter runners, just some legendary athletes from all over the world. I want to be a part of that. I want to train with them. So up here, I was just training with me and then another lady who did hurdles, but that was it. That was our training group.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to be in that environment in Atlanta. So moved down there in February, and things are progressing well. Right, looking good, training well. I am being able to compete with people like Marquise Goodwin or Zach Bazile, who has the long jump record at Ohio State. Or Marquise Goodwin being former Olympian, but also NFL star.
Yeah.
So I'm training with these guys, keeping up with them, making new friends. Like, man, I'm on my way. But then COVID happens.
Yeah.
And so with COVID, we tried to train through it. But once the news came out that the Olympics would be delayed, it made sense to kind of halt training, come back to Cincinnati, rest for a little bit, and then get back into it.
Gotcha.
So my goal was to make it to the Olympics, be it that they were going to be in August of 2021. But along that journey, competed in some professional meets, but then had a lot of injuries as well.
Gotcha. So that's crazy that you went through that journey, though.
Yeah, yep. No, it was fun. So being able to compete in Central American Championships in Costa Rica, competing some meets out in San Diego, California, or competing in Atlanta, Georgia. And so, man, getting to see my family be proud, winning a gold medal in the 4x1 for Honduras and getting the national record, that was an amazing moment. Man, having fun and traveling the world, meeting people, new businesses, establishing relationships, but then the experiences. And so these experiences I'm able to talk about when I'm speaking with students, especially student athletes, because a lot of student athletes say, I want to go pro one day. And I'm able to talk about my experience doing it and help them recognize that you're more than an athlete.
Yeah.
So a lot of student athletes have the identity of, I'm just an athlete.
Yeah.
You're so much more than that.
Yeah.
Right? You're a human with emotions who has decided to play a sport.
Correct.
Right? And one day you're going to have to let this go. And when you let it go, I don't want you to suffer too much of an identity crisis or go through a lot of anxiety or depression when you're figuring out who you are now.
So I seen that a lot, like around the peers around me. I was already kind of grounded with that.
Yeah.
My older brother, he played football in high school and a little bit of college, but he's 4 years older than me.
Yep.
So I kind of got to see the future ahead of me. So like when I was already in junior, senior year, I'm like, man, like life is already here.
Yep.
That was my mentality already.
Yeah.
And I kind of already made everything kind of realistic. Like, this is what it is. Like, da-da-da. Why everybody's already like, oh, I'm about to be the next this, that, the other. And I got to see, unfortunately, some people who kind of were thinking they were going up and really hit rock bottom.
Yep.
For me, I was like, just like already, I felt like I was already rock bottom. Let me start going
Going
forward.
up,
and that's kind of how I got into the whole barbering thing and then just kind of kept going from there with it, you know? But yeah, that's cool that you're able to see that and want to help athletic kids to the future. Like, hey, it's not just this.
Right.
You gotta have
you
gotta have options. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. You gotta have a plan B, C sometimes.
I would say not even a plan B, more so of just a what's next.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing this now, but what do you want to do after this?
Yeah.
And just having the forethought to think ahead.
Yeah.
So for me, similar to you, already knowing that, all right, this probably won't last forever.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna have to do something else. Thankfully, I was really intelligent growing up, and so my parents honed in on that skill. Like, yes, you can be amazing in basketball, soccer, football, but these grades better still be high. So, all right, I'm gonna utilize my mental, and even getting injuries in college. I'm like, man, my body is definitely not going to take me as far as my mind will, and so I better sharpen this thing instead.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope, and I'm glad you breaking that down because a lot of people don't understand that. Like, you know what I mean, on how to kind of translate that when injuries happens or obstacles happen in life when you're in the athletic side of things. That's dope. So let's get into how we kind of really reunited, right? Because I've seen you 2020-ish, you know, met you and Rod at Dr. Baker, and then from there we kind of on and off. But recently, you came to the shop, and let's just get into that a little bit because I know that's something that we talked about. Like, what made you make that pivot of like, hey, let me connect with Keven again?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at my camera for this one.
Yeah.
If I need an early morning cut, I'm coming to Kev. So Kev, you give 7:00 a.m. haircuts.
Yeah.
Which is pretty unheard of in the barber world. And so, man, there are certain times whether I'm traveling or have some very early speaking engagements, I need a fresh cut, I know I can contact you.
Yeah.
And so that's something that Rod has told me throughout the years, and then even seeing, man, you posting on IG, but then even the ease of access when it comes to the app that you developed.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, I need these early cuts during this period in my life. I knew who to hit up, and so it was you. And so that's how we were able to reconnect.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad because it brought us to this point, right?
Yep.
And that's something that I've learned when I first started cutting hair. I'm like, man, like, what can put me in a different level of barbering and make me stand out?
Yep.
And one of the things is, like, I started like playing around with the hours. I'm like, oh, why do people come in at 10 and leave by 8? I'm like, I don't want to be here midday and be here all night.
Yep.
And I just started a new family and everything, you know, was going, whatever. But what I learned was like, oh, there's people work third shift.
Mm-hmm.
There's people who have to do engagements in the morning. You know, there's business people who need to be in front of the camera or in front of, you know, meetings. And it is morning people.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really technically a morning person. Yeah. I developed on being a morning person.
There we go.
And I just started messing around with them. Okay, let's do 9:00. All right, 8:00. And when I opened up the business, I was already doing like 7, 8 around there, somewhere around there. But once I really like started to understand the value and the type of clientele coming in that early, I'm like, I love this. It's a whole different vibe. I also get to set the tone.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people are not going to come in that early.
Right.
So I can open up the shop a certain way. I can do this. I can do that. And for a while too, I also did because I was sacrificing other things. Like I was speaking on the other episode of my wife. It's like she was staying at home, so I had to figure things out.
Yep.
You know? And my figuring out was like, okay, I got to work also late, but let me come in early to make this happen. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just something cool for me to be in there. I mean, I've been there at 5:00 in the morning before.
Man, 5 a.m. club. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I can't do it right now because, you know, just certain things that we got going on in our life.
Yep.
But, you know, I love the early morning appointments because you have this niche of clientele that you get to talk about certain things you're not going to be able to talk about throughout the whole day.
Very true.
Because if you're in a shop setting, which I was before, I'm in a suite now, right?
Yep.
Everybody's around, so you can't talk about certain things.
For sure.
So in the mornings, that used to be the time when people wanted to come in and let themselves express themselves.
Yeah, that level of privacy, that level of intimacy, but then also being up there early, you're cutting those who are go-getters.
Yeah.
Whether you just got off of work because you work third shift or you getting up really early because you want to attack the day.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. And it's been great. I love it, you know. A lot of people fight me against it, you know what I mean, when it comes to it. And in the barber world.
For sure.
Man, man, I love this.
Yeah, but you doing what works for you and your clientele.
Exactly.
And those who can make it, amazing. Those who can't, oh well, there's other barbers.
Yeah. So I'm glad I've been able to be that part of, service for you in your life, because that's part of it for me as a barber. Like, I'm here to service other people. And be able to do that and be able to be a part of that in your life. I'm happy that I'm able to do that for you.
Hey, appreciate that, brother.
So anytime, man.
To add to that, you're also setting the tone for those who also work at your shop, or your suite. So, man, when I come in there, I'm seeing these young guys. So I'm 28, they like 21, maybe even younger.
18 to 21.
Hey, good morning. Whoa, y'all up this early and now y'all this young, and y'all actually have clients come in this early? That's unheard of. But they got clients coming in before they go to school. I'm like, oh, that's genius.
So like, my whole thing with that is, when I bring in barbers, stylists, whatever I learned in 3 to 5 years, I want you to learn it in less, because I want you to be better than me. I'm not gonna hold back. I want to be able to develop you. And for you to grow at whatever pace you want to, but I can help you through it. And that's part of it. Like, just seeing it now and being around that, it brings a smile to my face when I walk in, and my clients walk in like, man, you got who that boy over there at 7 o'clock in the morning? Man, that's such and such, man. He's been killing it, man. And
they get into it.
And the thing is, a lot of clients come in and are so, surprised by it. And I don't think the barbers get enough recognition for it, right? And they should, because they're sacrificing their time as well, and it's dope to be able to be around that, be able to kind of build that over, just over time,
I fully relate with you saying what it took you 3 to 5 years to learn. You want to give it to them so they can learn it faster. So that's why I even do what I do, right? Helping those who are younger than me, figure out who they are, what they want, how to go get it, but at a faster rate. And it's still up to them to figure out, all right, how fast or slow do you want to go at your own pace? But at least I'm able to help you along the way, because there were people who did help me, and some things I had to figure out on my own.
Correct.
All right, but I get to be here as a guide and mentor for you.
That's dope. So let's get into this conversation, man, of the book. I know we talked about it briefly before, but we haven't really gone in deep into the book. First of all, what made you write a book?
Man, a multitude of reasons. So I'm big on legacy. And so I know that a book allows me to essentially be here forever.
Gotcha.
I loved speaking, and then I found out the audience will remember 10% of what I said 7 days later. So, all right, what is something I can give them or create to where they're able to retain more of what I said, but then also I can't give my whole life story, all the experiences, the failures, the different stories, the people that I've met in one speech. Nor would anybody want to listen that long. Well, oh man, I think it's time for me to write a book. And then it was also very therapeutic for me, because like I said earlier, I had so much going on in my life, being on school board, business consulting, and professional track all at the same time. And so writing that book essentially was a brain dump. Now, all the way back to when I got to college, I was already putting notes in my iPhone, whether I had, a great track meet, whether I failed an exam, whether I got my heart broke, or whether I wanted to write out my thoughts in a poem or in a rhyme. I would always put it in my notes. And so a lot of that also got dumped into the book. And so all of those reasons led me to writing the book, along with seeing what was being taught in certain curriculums in schools. So yes, students are prescribed certain books and told to do certain activities, but how much of it is relatable and transferable to their real life? So whether they go to college, whether they become an employee, whether they go to the military or own their own business, there are certain skills and thoughts they need to go through. So all of those factors led me to writing my book.
That's dope. Who pushed you to get that book going?
We can say Dr. Baker, be it that he used to ask me when would I write my book, because he's written 6 books. And matter of fact, the first time I visited his office, I purchased his books.
Gotcha.
Because I thought that was so impressive. And I never met any authors before. So like, man, you wrote a book? Like, oh, this is dope. And I actually read it. And it's actually one of my favorite books. And so this is amazing. And we can say Ben Phillips. So Ben Phillips didn't necessarily push me, but he did inspire me. So Ben wrote his book when he was 19, still at Miami. And so because he wrote his book, like, oh, it's actually possible.
Yeah.
All you got to do is essentially write it. That's the hardest part about writing a book.
Yeah.
People think about, man, how am I going to sell it? What am I going to title it?
Right.
How many pages does it have to be? Like, the hardest part is like just write it.
Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna go back to what you're saying, and that's dope, by the way.
Appreciate it.
But the part of like brain dump and everything, that's something that we're developing with our kids. Like we got them a little journal, and I think it's something. Yeah, I think it's something great for everybody to do that we're not doing. We're getting so overstimulated right now.
Yeah.
And it's something we gotta just take 5 minutes out of the day and just write something. I learned that from a couple of my clients, lawyers and people who deal with cases and stuff like that, or big things. Like at the end of the day, they go down and just brain dump everything. And that's cool that you're able to already kind of put that out without knowing that you're going to write a book in the future,
Yeah. So, man, me writing those notes, didn't think I was going to turn into a book. But then when I originally opened my laptop, in September of 2021, I just had to get everything out of my brain. That turned into 50 pages on Microsoft Word. Dang. So I was like, wait a minute, this actually can be a book. And so then I leaned on those notes, and I was able to dump that in there.
Gotcha. That's dope. By the way, before we keep going, what's the title of the book?
Yeah, title of the book, Question Everything, Advice for Students and Graduates. So me giving real game to younger me, helping them figure out who they are, what they want, how to go get it. So available on my website, available on Amazon, and on Audible. So it's my voice for 7 straight hours, not AI.
That's dope. What made you put that title?
Yeah, great question. So my famous question when I'm speaking or giving presentations or even one-on-one interviews is, what is a 2-word phrase of advice you would give to younger you? And so when I was asked that question and pondering on it, it was question everything. And so I would tell young Kenny, man, ask a bunch of questions. And not just about this one topic, but literally everything. So something I lacked was confidence and courage. And so when you ask questions, you're able to dive deeper. It's like, all right, I'm nervous. Why are you nervous? I don't want my classmates to laugh at me. Why not? Like, I don't want to feel like the work that I put in wasn't enough to impress them. Another question you could ask, does it really matter? And so continuing to ask questions and figuring out who you are, what you really want, but then the reason behind, whether it's your fear, anxiety, or insecurities, right, comes from asking the right questions. Then I noticed that society typically stifles curiosity. Right? So a toddler, or really a human for that matter, favorite thing to ask is why. Right? But then parents typically get tired of hearing why. It's like, just do it because I said so.
Right.
And there's a time and place for that, for sure. But we need to inspire the curiosity of the child or the student. So they may say why, and people get defensive when they hear that because it takes them back to childhood. So you may spill something, and mom says, why did you do that? He's like, oh, man. So now when you hear why, you immediately get defensive. But kids don't know how to ask questions in a way that will bring someone's guard down. So instead of saying why, you could change it to, what's the reason behind this? So people are just genuinely curious. Like, I want to know, why are you telling me to do this? Or why do I have to do it this specific way? And so that's another factor into the title of it being Question Everything.
That's
right?
dope.
Yeah. Then there's a lot of propaganda out here in the world, and especially in the social media era. You don't know the real from the fake.
Correct.
So you gotta question everything. Funny example I like using, like, this girl bad. I'm like, is that filtered? Is that really her body? Did she get surgery? Like, there's so many questions. And I got 2 degrees in accounting. So although I hate accounting and love education and communication, first thing they teach you in accounting is to be skeptical, which means ask questions. So a company might say, we made $1 million. Account is mine. Did you make $1 million? How did you make that $1 million? It is sustainable. Right? How much did you spend to even make that kind of money? Right? Does that work for me, or do you have a certain skill set, or do you have a rich uncle? So many factors come into play, but it all comes from questions.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And that's something that, like, on my end, that I've done. I just don't know that I've done it. You know what I mean? Like, I just do certain things. I ask certain questions. I'm like, oh, I've just got to figure it out.
Yeah, I want to know.
In a way. Yeah. So that's what's up, man. With my kids, I always kind of like bug them, like, all right, why do you want to do that? You know what I mean?
Good.
Same thing with like social media. Like, we don't let them use anything. We don't have anything.
Very good.
But I explain to them, and that's something, I try to be as best that I can be as a parent. It's like social media, for example, like YouTube and all these other things. That's a research center. This is not for you to scroll. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to get them to understand that. They're super young, obviously, but I'm like, if they can get the understanding of how to use this correctly, and putting the right questions into this,
Yep.
they can get good results out of it.
Exactly.
Because I feel like with what you're saying too is like a lot of people are starting to become so close-minded and also so like tight to like, well, if I do this, I'm gonna mess up, or I'll do this is gonna happen in their head, but they're not really asking, you know, to the next person or whoever it is, you know. So it's cool that you're guiding people.
Yep, that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah,
and I'm big on mentorship. So whatever it is we want to be or do, we should find other people who are doing it or have done it, and then ask them a bunch of questions, and not just the cute questions like, how much money do you make?
Right.
Like, now, what did you fail at, and what are some mistakes that you made that I can avoid, or what are some things that I'm gonna have to do on this journey, although it was painful and it may seem unnecessary, will help me in the long run.
Yeah.
Like questions like that will help you in so many ways.
Heck yeah. So with the book, man, what is like one of your favorite chapters?
It's a good question. I would say chapter 2.
Okay.
Because that's where the first Dear Kenny letter is. And so throughout the book, there's 49 letters to younger me. And so it's literally Dear Kenny. And I think the first one being, man, no matter what, remember to love yourself, regardless of what others may say or do around you.
Gotcha.
So my first sport was soccer, but my older cousins, who I looked up to and seen as authority figures, told me that soccer was non-masculine. What kind of ideology is that? One, you should be comfortable in your own skin, regardless of the choices you make.
Correct.
But having to remind younger me that. So if I wouldn't have listened to my cousins, I would have continued playing soccer. Right? Because what are they doing to this day? Not much with their lives.
Yeah.
So there's that. So that's one of the reasons it's my favorite chapter. And those Dear Kenny letters are actually really personal, but then will help anybody. Then that's the chapter where I give a lot of reverence to my parents and specifically my dad. And so thanking him for the major impact he had on my life.
Gotcha.
So growing up, I thought he was really tough on me, but all the lessons that he gave me and the things that he told me have come to light in so many ways. All right, one of them, he would always tell me to speak up. And so me being this confident speaker comes from my dad telling me to speak up.
Already, yeah.
Yep. But then so I can always hear him in my head saying that. And then he showed me the importance of waking up early. So he was in the Navy for 20 years.
Gotcha.
And so with that, his body is really trained to always be up early.
Yep.
And so now me waking up at 4:30 a.m., my girlfriend will say, the only people up right now are you and your dad.
And me.
Yeah, and Kev. I was like, you might be right about that. Right. But we up early getting to it and getting after it. Yeah. And so my dad taught me so many lessons, whether it's obviously how to speak up, but how to dress, right? How to be smooth, how to be kind and treat women.
Yeah.
And being money conscious. And the importance of legacy. So me and my dad have the same name. So there were times where I was getting in trouble at school, and I never thought of it this way until he said it. But he said, you getting in trouble at school makes me look like a bad parent, but then also we have the same name. So when people hear the name Kenny Glenn, you always acting out, and that is a reflection of me. Right? And you have a younger sister, and so when she comes with this last name, they're going to think about you. Yeah. It's like, oh, man, I never thought of it that way. But the way he was able to make it plain and say it out loud, thank you for that. And so I give a lot of reverence to my dad for who I am today and the lesson that I learned.
That's dope. And I'm glad you say that because I just had a conversation with my son about 2-3 weeks ago. And you're like kind of like answering questions for myself. Like, am I doing this right as a parent?
For sure.
But one of the things we were driving back, he does jiu-jitsu, right?
Okay.
And like right now we're doing 2 hours and a half of jiu-jitsu Mondays and Wednesdays, and then wrestling 1.5 hours Tuesdays and Thursday.
Okay.
So yeah, Monday, Wednesday, and then Tuesday, Thursday. And we're driving back from jiu-jitsu. He's like, Dad, I got a question. I'm like, what's up? And usually when a kid tells you, you're like, oh, crap. Like, what are you about to tell me, you know? He's like, yeah, so I was talking to my friends at school, and they get to do whatever they want. I'm like, okay, such as what? Like, well, if they want ice cream, they can just go get it. Or if they want to go to get air, their parents just jump and go and do their thing. Yeah. He's like, why are you so hard on me? And da-da-da-da. I'm like, because I don't want you to grow up a certain way. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want you to understand not everything's given, and you have to earn it.
Yeah.
What I've got, what I'm giving you was earned.
Yep.
Nothing was given.
Yeah.
You know, coming from Puerto Rico here, my parents had to earn everything. Yep. We went from living in an apartment on the floor and earning every little thing we got, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously you know, where I live and stuff like that,
Right.
they don't see it like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know you probably heard of that one speaker talking about, you know, grandpa walked to work, dad rode a bike,
Yep.
you know, son had a Ferrari,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of goes over
Yep.
again. And when I seen that, I'm like, I don't want that cycle to happen.
For sure.
So with him, he's like, man, you just so hard and mean. I'm like, you talking about that? I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean?
You're doing the right thing.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. They need to understand that you have to work for the things that you want.
Yeah.
Because nothing is typically just given, but there are also consequences when you are just giving things because you don't appreciate it as much.
Exactly.
So for me, my dad, I remember him saying this. He said, I'll never buy my kid a game system. And hearing that at, I think, 10, 11 years old, I'm crushed. Like, what do you mean? I want an Xbox 360 like my friends.
Yeah.
And he's like, nope. So, I mean, how am I going to get an Xbox 360 if my dad said he's not buying it? Oh, I got to go out here and go buy one myself.
Yep.
How am I going to do that? I'm out here shoveling snow, cutting grass, selling Starburst at school, selling gum, saving my money, all of that to go buy my Xbox 360. But I earned it. And so I appreciated it way more than if he would have just gave it to me.
Yeah.
And so that taught me entrepreneurial life lessons. But then when you said that, when your son asked you that question, it made me think of Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
So Trey had his dad, Furious Styles.
Yeah.
And then Trey like, man, my dad's always on me. I don't get to do as much as my other friends. Mm-hmm. And Furious, his dad, literally says, you'll see how your other friends end up.
Yeah.
And it was not good consequences. Or not good endings. But for Trey, he essentially had it made because all the lessons his dad poured into him.
Correct. And again, like, you just answering some of my stuff as well, but it's dope to be able to be around that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's what's up, man. You got what you said, second chapter?
Yep, chapter 2. Yeah.
And then the other one is 3. You said going into 3. Is that what you said?
Nah, just chapter 2.
No, just chapter 2. Yep. Okay, has everything in there. That's dope. So how far are you taking this book right now?
Man, well, past 6,000 sold. Got the audiobook, created a workbook out of it, and getting it into school curriculums.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now it's at Aiken High School in their curriculum. So for their freshmen, it's been in some summer camps and then working on some other schools as well.
Okay, that's what's up. I've seen you travel though with it.
Yeah.
How?
So I've been. Go ahead.
What's your thought process on that? Like, how big do you want to expand?
Yeah, I want to go global for sure.
Yeah.
The first book essentially was my kick into the door. And I will be writing more books, and definitely around the topic of self-reflection, but reminding people to, one, be confident, be courageous, love yourself, but then remain curious and understand the importance of who you are, like the importance of saying how amazing you are, and then learning from your successes and your failures. Right? Because the social media era, we always talk about our successes, but not enough about the failure.
Yeah.
So when I introduce myself, or I'm being introduced, right, typically the successes, like, what have you achieved, Kenny? Right. Graduated at 16, went and got degrees, wrote a book, speaking, got my own brand. So these all sound amazing, but there are some failures that kind of fueled those things and forced me to learn. And so whether that's getting rejected, certain obstacles, or not reaching the goals that I set. And so essentially really failing, but I learned.
Yeah.
So people, I want them to self-reflect. All right, what did I fail at, and what are the lessons that I learned from it, and how does that help me, but then also help other people?
That's dope. It's funny because I'm just thinking here while you're talking. I'm like, that sounds like similar to my vision and my ideas. You know, with not just the barbering, but what I want around. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's part of it. My whole thing, I was just having a conversation. It's like, I don't look at anything as a loss. You know, a loss or it's all learning. All learning lessons. There ain't no failure behind this. And I think that's what always been able to kind of push me over that hump.
For sure.
And one of the things that I've seen in your shirt, I know you're pushing it too, is keep going. That's another thing of my thing is like, keep going.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out. At the end of the day, you're going to figure it out. You're going to keep going, you know. And one of the conversations I had was like, when I opened up the first shop, cool. Second shop, I'm like, I don't see the light at all. You know what I mean? At all. But in my mind, just like from the beginning, like, I just got to keep going, keep going. What's up with the keep going?
Yeah, man, so many reasons behind it. All right, keep going. My initials also being KG, so it makes sense. But I've been speaking since 2016, but I didn't really post about it until closer to when the book was about to come out. So 2022. So I was 6 years of me speaking. Even when the book came out, I really didn't post every time I spoke. Now I do. But when I would post it, or when people would see me, they always would say, "Man, I love what you're doing. Keep going." Y'all saying keep going, I must be doing something right. So there's that, the confirmation. But then so many people in life typically just give up, right, when they embrace failure or they don't reach the goal that they set in their mind, right? So example for me, I thought out the gate, I'm selling 10,000 first month. It didn't happen. But do I just quit? Like, no, I have to keep going. Right, getting cut from the basketball team. Do I quit or do I keep going because I know I really want to reach this goal?
Yeah.
And so no matter what, in my mind, right, you have to keep going if it's something that you really want.
Yeah.
Right. And if you reach your goal, great. And if you don't, it happens. But at least you gave your all and you did keep going.
Right.
And sometimes it makes sense to quit for sure.
Right.
But the thing is, our number one asset in life is time, and time will never stop. And so because time will never stop, it's going to keep going. So should we.
Same thought process, bro.
There it is.
That's all I gotta say. You know what I mean? That's the same thing with me. Like, keep going. Like, boom. I just same. It's dope. It's dope to be around in that room of people who understand that, because not a lot of people are grounded to understand these things. I feel like,
for sure.
And I think your vision is similar to mine. It's like, how can we get people to understand this, because it's so valuable for them. You know what I mean? If they understand these things, a lot of stuff will, I wouldn't say eliminate in their life, but they'd be able to tackle it better.
Yeah, for
sure. Know, and not get into these deep, dark places. Yeah.
Yeah, and people think things have to happen so fast. Be it that we live in a microwave era. We remember a time when you like shoes.
Yeah.
We order shoes, it's gonna take 7 to 10 business days.
Yep.
Now, and we got Amazon Prime. If we don't have our stuff in 2 days, we call it management and freaking out. It's like, yo, chill. Or food, for example. So Thanksgiving coming up.
Yep.
I asked a class of students, all right, who like Thanksgiving in here? Everybody raised their hand. Said, if I made the whole Thanksgiving meal in the microwave, would y'all eat it? I'm like, nah. I'm like, why not? All right, you didn't take the time to actually care and prepare this. And so things take time. Right? So seed analogy, you plant something in the ground, it's not going to be there tomorrow. Right? It's going to take time, and then you're going to have to, water, nurture it, eventually cut it, put it in the stove or the oven, as opposed to the microwave. So things aren't going to happen as fast as you think.
Yeah, so that's a good one, right? And it's funny you said a by analogy to that. Have you ever heard of the Chinese bamboo tree?
Absolutely. Yep, 6 years.
Yeah, so I always tell that to a lot of the barbers, like, hey, you're not going to get what I got right now, you're not going to get tomorrow.
Yeah.
And well, I want to be like you. I want to, because I don't promote anymore. But I used to promote.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, so, well, you don't do it no more. I'm like, I don't have to at this moment.
You've established yourself enough.
Yeah, but I was posting 4 or 5 times as many as I could.
Yep.
I was passing out flyers. I was talking to people. I was doing everything I could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I try to explain that to them just like that. A seed or the bamboo tree. It's like, you have to plant it. You have to water every day. You're not going to see the growth.
Yep.
Until 5, 6 years later, it grows 10, 15, feet tall. And I'm like, that's the way you have to work with what we got going on in our industry. And some of them get it, some of them don't. Some of them come in the phase of the shop where it is growing. So they're like, well, it didn't affect me. It's like, but it will sooner or later.
For sure.
When some obstacle comes. So you have to understand what's going on. To be able to pivot out of it.
No, fully agree what you said.
Yeah.
Because when I'm giving advice now, sometimes I don't feel like it's me talking. And I'll tell them I wasn't always like this.
Yeah.
I promise. And so it definitely took growth, but doing all these necessary things to get to where we are now, and knowing that we still have goals that we want to reach.
Yeah. That's cool. Again, I'll keep going back saying it's cool. It's just cool to be around somebody who understands.
Appreciate it. Likewise, brother. Likewise. You know what I mean?
Because I don't think everybody is at that. They're not at that phase of their time right now. You know what I mean? At our age.
Right.
Some people are doing, normal daily things. Some people are starting families, and everything is changing. But just be able to be around that is dope to hear from somebody else's mouth. Like, oh, this is what's going on, and this is what I want to do. It's dope, man.
Appreciate it, brother.
Well, before we wrap it up, man, do you have any questions that you want to ask?
Absolutely. My famous question. All right. Kev.
Yo.
What is a 2-word phrase of advice you would give to younger you?
2 words? Not trying to be cliche, but keep going.
There it is. All right. So what will make you say keep going to young Kev?
So for me, like the way I grew up, right, and moved here, I would say keep going. I already had that in my mind. I think it wasn't like a thing then, but again, like I was telling you earlier, like the way we grew up and moved here, every day was something new. Everything I had to keep going. You know what I mean? So it's always been like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you eventually write your book, will Keep Going be the title, or will you pick something else?
I would probably pick something else. I had something before. It's like the journey of, I can't remember what it is. I had it written down somewhere. It was like the journey of something. And I started writing when I get on planes.
Yeah,
I'll get on there. Yeah, I just started writing stuff down and just dump everything. It's for me, I don't know, it's therapeutic on the plane ride. I don't know why. I think it's just like quiet and you have nothing to do.
Man, it's quiet. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And with me having bad ADHD,
got you.
Like that's just, I don't have nothing else to do, you know? So I kind of like hyper focus on that. That's the cool thing about ADHD, right? Like I have it real bad. It sucks because you have to kind of hone in when you don't want to. Yeah. But then when you want to and you can hyper focus on one thing, you'll just get it done. So that's like the cool thing about that though.
Yeah. Yep. No, I'm definitely big on hyper focus. I feel as if I have OCD. I may have a little bit of ADHD, but I can focus really well. But then, like, I have to accomplish certain tasks. Yeah. So when I'm on plane rides, that's definitely my time to lock in because there's nothing else I can do. Like, I can't clean anything. I can't go check other stuff. I'm right here. So me writing the book, people think I always was just in front of my laptop. But sometimes I might send myself an email, send myself a text, like things I can do at the gym or taking a walk. But then car rides. So when I was running professionally, there were times I had to drive from Atlanta to Cincinnati or Atlanta to Miami, Florida. And so I'm in the car for a while. Or the first time I really thought about a book in general, I was driving from Cleveland to Cincinnati. So 3.5 hours. And so I didn't turn on any music for that 3.5 hours. I literally just talked into my phone and using talk to text. And so a lot of the book was written that way.
So I gotta ask you something real quick. Are you the type that when you're driving, you listen to music, or you're more like locked into what?
All of the above.
Yeah.
So there are times where I'll talk into my phone and record a video. There are times where I'll listen to YouTube videos and podcasts, but then sometimes jam out the music.
Dude, for like 8 years, I ain't had nothing on.
Man, that was like time to think.
Yeah, it was quiet. Cause as a barber, right, you're talking every day.
All day.
Music is in the background, you know. In my world, I'm the owner, so like stuff's happening here, there, blah, blah, blah. So like that was my time to just kind of like decompress from everything.
Makes sense.
You know, but at the same time, like, you know, it helped me out to kind of think through before I get to the next phase, whatever I had going on that day.
No, that makes sense. So me being a speaker, there are a lot of times after speeches, I'll go home. I don't want to talk to nobody. Yeah. Like, Kenny, come to this event. I need to be an introvert right now.
Yeah. That's how I am. I'm like at the shop. 100%. I'm all over the man. Outside of that, I'm quiet at home. But that's really me though. I don't really be going out. I don't like the loud stuff. I mean, I did for a little bit when I was young, but that's being young. But outside of that, just meet me at the house.
Now I'm cool.
So,
man.
Bro. Any other questions?
Nah, that's all I have for you. Yeah. I'm the go-tos for sure.
Yeah. So, man, I appreciate you coming out. I appreciate you being vulnerable and letting people know what's going on and, you know, what your goal and mission is. And, you know, it's dope being able to meet other people around the same age, similar mindset, and kind of want to help each other grow. I think we need more of that.
We do.
And I think we also need more of people that want and are willing to help people for nothing in return. You know what I mean? I think that's something I have in common with you. Like, we're just doing it because we love what we do.
Yeah.
And the return is seeing somebody else grow.
Exactly. It always comes back some form or fashion.
Yeah. So, man, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Kev.